AITA, for telling my girlfriend to shut the F up after she insulted my sister's thighs? I'm 30 and my 12-year-old sister is living with me right now because mom and pops are vulnerable, so it made more sense for me to care for my sis for the time being. She is a really great kid, and to be honest, I feel in a lot of ways like she's my own kid because my mom and dad don't speak English, so I kind of had to raise my sis in ways that they couldn't. Hard to explain, but I'm sure anyone with a secondary culture will get what I mean. My mom and dad are great parents, but having an English-speaking person to guide you through crap when you live in an English-speaking country is invaluable in my opinion, and my sister trusts me with stuff she won't necessarily trust my parents with. Anyway, my girlfriend was FaceTiming me and my sister walked past in shorts and a t-shirt because it's hot. My sister's friend waited until my sister had left the area, but not the room, and made a face and said maybe feed her less up, her thighs are kind of chunky. I saw red and told her to shut the F up, just came out my mouth, and immediately ended the call. My sister is a bit chubby, but for F's sake, who says stuff like that about a 12-year-old girl? Literally. Everybody I know has been texting me that I'm a pos boyfriend and that how can I disrespect my girlfriend like that. I am expecting an apology from her, but to my shock everybody is expecting me to apologize. So Reddit, am I the butthole? NTA. 12-year-old girls are incredibly vulnerable to body image issues. You're absolutely right to shut down such comments immediately. Thank you. I don't think my sister heard, but now I'm worried she might have heard, and if she did, how to handle the conversation to reassure her. I feel awful. Even if she didn't hear it, would you ever want to subject your sister to her down the road? Like, what will she say to her when you aren't within earshot? Your sister will be able to pick up on and feel that cold/mean vibe. Agree. Up, toss the whole girlfriend away. And the friends. Right? Why do so many people on here say their friends get involved in this stuff and tell them they're a butthole? It's one thing if you ask for advice or tell them, but it's another if they text you unprompted about it. For one, if my boyfriend and I fight, I don't run and tell everyone about it. And for two, if my friend tells me about a fight, I don't run and tell the boyfriend that he's a butthole. I give her advice and console her and move on. Who are these people? I always see people's friends and families getting involved in their issues, and I'm like, what? Why? Golden rule: keep your friends and family out of you and your significant other's relationship. Only bad things can happen. All my friends have been texting me I'm TA. Well, then stop giving a flying F what other people think and worry about your crap. It blows my mind how much some people define their lives by others' approval. I guess I'm lucky that I don't feel any of that pressure. It's also possible to take that attitude too far. Don't act some way because you want approval, but if 10 people are saying you're TA, then it's worth pausing and considering. But maybe instead of seeking the approval of strangers on Reddit, original posts could ask some other friends who haven't heard the GF's version of events. It happens for the same reason people go to Reddit for judgment. Unfortunately, not anonymous. They feel adamant about their stance and want support from others, or they may question their stance and need feedback. Regardless, outside people shouldn't be brought in when they are friends, colleagues or acquaintances, and maybe even family. At least with Reddit there is an element of privacy. Also, a vast pool of people with different perspectives who aren't close to the issue or either person. See, I can't understand the outside parties jumping in. I have my mom and my best friend that I talk to. If I get into a big fight with my so, I can talk it out with them. But part of that is because if I was the one in the wrong, both of them would not hesitate to tell me I effed up. They also would never go to my so and tell them what they think. They are a sounding board for me and don't wedge themselves into the relationships. I don't understand the people that do that. Why do so many people on here say their friends get involved in this stuff and tell them they're a butthole? It's one thing if you ask for advice or tell them, but it's another if they text you unprompted about it. There are people out there who, when they do something questionable and aren't certain they can win the argument one-on-one, will quickly go around and organize everyone in their common friend group to be on their side. Usually, the tactic involves telling a semi-accurate, but slightly skewed version of what happened. It's just enough to make a bunch of these common friends feel like they have to call out the other person. This tends to happen a lot in drama-filled social groups. My wife was in such a group many years ago when we first met. The childish way these people acted was amazing, and the organize and attack thing happened with alarming frequency. They were all big partiers, and going out drinking every night was basically all they had in common. Op might be well advised to do what my wife did, and just dump the whole dysfunctional friend group, including GF, and find a better class of friends. I have been on the attack side of this situation way too much. People need to mind their own business and understand that what other people do with their lives is not something they should get involved with. Exactly. GF probably exaggerated or lied to make herself sound like a victim. Tell it like it is, and anyone who agrees with her or thinks original post is still the I is not a good person. She probably made the story sound a little different and made herself seem like an innocent girlfriend being randomly yelled at for no reason. The friends really need to get both sides of the story though. I was just worried about her health and he completely overreacted. How my mom justifies calling me fat for $500, Alex. Yeah, I hate this crap. You know nothing about someone else's health by looking at them. Agreed. I do not understand why people do this. You hear one side of a story and pile on the other person. I find it toxic. Maybe. What story were the friends told? We need more data here. I honestly think the friends weren't told the whole story by the, hopefully ex-girlfriend. Put her in the bin. This X a million. If the girlfriend will say it behind the sister's back to you, eventually she will say it in front of the sister too. Not only that, why would you want to be with someone who, even though in such superficial, petty, ugly ways about someone you love? Happy Cake Day. NTA, you definitely said a lot by telling your girlfriend to STFU and hanging up on her. If your sister saw that, she'll know you had her back. That means a lot. And cut those buttholes out of your life. If they know what happened and are mad at you, they suck. They suck butt. Keep being the big brother you are. And cut those buttholes out of your life. To be fair, these people heard only one side of the story. And I doubt that side would be all that accurate. To be fair, these people heard only one side of the story. And I doubt that side would be all that accurate, which is why you don't take a side, you just nod your head and say that's a pity, hope it works out. You don't start firing off effing messages calling the other party a butthole that makes you a butthole. Was thinking the same here. They're either huge pieces of garbage or left out of the loop. They talked with him. They had both sides of the story available, or they couldn't have told him anything. Op never said they talked. He said he's been getting messages. That doesn't mean he's explained anything to them, and they have both sides of the story. Ditch this one, Op. She's a trash human. He also didn't mention anyone asking his side of the story. As a rule, people who start a conversation, including text, with judgment rather than curiosity are not people you want in your life. Brother of the Year, more 12-year-olds need adults to put other adults in their place when discussing body image. GF is awful and should know better. Hopefully the GF realizes how great of a guy you are and changes her tone. She had a chance to change her tone, and instead went and spun the narrative to make her look good, and alienate the original post from their entire friend group. I'd say she has no emotional awareness. Second this. My stepdaughter is 12 and quite skinny, but literally everything will make her feel fat and she'll want to starve herself or just put herself down. Very vulnerable age. NTA, you're doing the right thing by standing up for her. God, yeah, I remember being 12 and relatively comfortable in my own skin, or at least not thinking about crap like weight at all. I was at a cookout and I had seen a girl on TV in shorts and a midriff tank top and thought she was so cool, so I had emulated her with shorts and a sports bra. I was sunburnt and happy and the barbecue had been great, necessitating the undoing of my top button because kids are still prone to little pot bellies. And then my mother hissed at me that I was embarrassing myself, half dressed with my butt hanging out and my gut busting through my shorts and barbecue sauce on my face. If I was going to dress like that, I needed to lose some weight because nobody wants to see a half-naked chubby girl. To this day I am deeply, irrationally uncomfortable with my belly showing. I don't even like bikinis. I'm sorry that happened to you. There are some very cute chubby girls that show their midriff and it's fine. Here's the upside. Even if she did hear it, she also heard her brother fight and stand up for her, which is invaluable. Let's say she did hear what your girlfriend said, so what's the next thing she heard? You defending her. That's what she'll focus on when she remembers it later, that you went to bat for her immediately and defended her, and that is absolutely what matters most. My little sister is 13 years my junior and I practically raised her. I would be so livid if anyone attacked her. She's a child. What gives her the right? Would she say that to an adult? I feel like you need to evaluate your girlfriend's capacity for kindness. You did the right thing, don't make it wrong by apologizing. Hate to be negative, but while maybe some part of her will hear the defense if she struggles with self-esteem, that part of her mind will immediately take the issues between original post and GF and tell her, see, you ruin everything. You are destroying your brother's relationship. I say this because a very similar situation happened with one of my family members who deals with self-esteem and depression. We discovered years later that they were still blaming themselves for that incident and using it to tell themselves they were worthless. No evidence the sister deals with depression, but my advice is to make sure they know this was your decision and that your life is brighter because of her. If you didn't tell your friends what happened during the conversation, that means your GF did. If they're now telling you to apologize, then she's twisted and warped the story to somehow make her look like the victim and not the 12-year-old girl she horrifically insulted, because no one in their right mind would support someone who said something that mean, and she knows it. You are not the butthole in your ex? GF is definitely the huge ah. In regards to your sister being a tiny bit chubby, that is completely normal as well. Most preteens get a little bit of puppy fat as the growth from child to teen uses that extra weight as energy for the process. My 12-year-old son 6 months ago was around 35 kilograms and looked rather chunky. He has since grown 15 centimeters and still at the same weight, but now looking on the skinny side of things. NTA in any way. I applaud you for calling her out on her BS and ending the call. I agree, this happened to my cousin. I'd say as long as you encourage good eating habits, then I wouldn't be worried about the weight either. She's still growing. I have a 12-year-old sister-in-law who lives with us and they are so insecure at this age already. I think it's fairly common for them to be that size at this age too, right before the puberty growth spurt happens. Their hormones are really starting to kick in at this age. As a girl, your girlfriend should have known better. As an adult, she should have really known. What kind of adult even trashes a kid's weights and looks though? Brutal. Don't bring it up. If she did hear, your response was excellent. Just keep supporting her. You're a great man. Op. Your girlfriend, on the other hand, is just awful. Take it from someone who has 2 brothers, who are honestly my best friends to this day, and who used to be the chubby girl in middle school. The relationship you have with your sister will be 10x more meaningful than the one with your girlfriend, so please rethink it. She sucks. If she did overhear you GF's comment, I hope she at least also heard the way you shut her down. Though really, I hope she didn't hear it all. I was 12 when I was told I was overweight. I was 5 feet and 120 pounds, and while that is overweight, I still had over 6 years to grow into it. I had already had body dysmorphia and other issues, so this only made it worse. I stopped valuing myself as a person and felt like my weight defined me. I would eat to cope because I had no one to support me. My grandma was depressed because her daughter, my mom, died. She could barely take care of herself. I wouldn't change in front of people and elected to change in the independent shower stalls during gym class. By 11th grade I was 210. While it wasn't just fat gain, as I was very into weightlifting and went hard during gym classes, but I'm still effed up to this day. Stop body shaming people, of any age. NTA, and this is a huge red flag. Why would you want to date someone that insulted your little sister like that? You right. I don't want to date anybody who insults anyone like that. She's never said anything like that before and probably never will, because it's completely changed how I see her. You're an actual good guy, dude. You deserve better. NTA, well done for standing up for your sister. It's talk like that no young girl should ever be judged on. I just hope she's now your ex and that you never apologize. I'm not apologizing at all, you're right on that. And yes, someone who thinks it's okay to body shame kids isn't someone I want to my partner, so I need to have that conversation with her. You completely right. Good for you. You seem like an amazing big brother. I really hope you can work this out with your girlfriend, but her comment is unacceptable. Yeah, for me this would be instant breakup. I would absolutely not be with someone who says something like that. And now, Even if she doesn't say it out loud in the future, how can you guarantee that she isn't thinking it or doing any number of subconscious reinforcement of that mindset when you aren't around? Because I can promise your sis might not come to you if your girlfriend says something to her or make little comments like that to her when you aren't around. Instead, she'll internalize it and it can do lasting damage. Most people who would body shame a child and tell you to stop feeding them because of chunky thighs is not someone who will change with a simple conversation. This hints to a deeply different set of personal standards and beliefs. For me, this would be a reason to automatically end any relation with said person. I say you are definitely not the butthole for telling her to shut the F up. It's honestly pretty tame to what would have come out of my mouth. Seriously. It calls into question what she would say to her own kids. Good call up. Have you thought maybe literally everyone you know is texting you to apologize to your girlfriend because she spun the story a certain way? It doesn't make sense that anyone would side with her, knowing what you've told us here. The only thing that makes sense is that she twisted some details to paint herself in a better light. It sounds to me like you have a very insecure partner. While that in itself might not be a good reason to break up, obviously, it depends on the person and the relationship. I think she has shown you that she has a really nasty, mean spirit with her comments. Hopefully, she grows from this experience and can reflect on why she needs to insult children to feel better about herself. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.